Hey guys, welcome back to Sparks and Recreation. In today's video, we're going to talk about what we did to these race cars to get them ready for the upcoming race season. It is supposed to start this Saturday. So what they say is, you know, championships are won in the winter. And that's pretty true. You have to do quite a bit of maintenance to your cars to make them ready for the race season. We waited till the last minute because I've been broke most of the season. I'm going to show you what we did, the adversities we went through, and kind of go one by one each car, what we did to get it ready for this upcoming season. Speaking of the season, it starts this Saturday. High Bank Holdup, Fulton Speedway, 25 laps. We are actually supposed to be collaborating with Brad Whiteside of Build It Kingdom. We've been planning this since last season. He actually runs out at like Ransomville Genesee Speedway out in Western New York. Became friends online, seems like a cool dude. He is way more technical than I am. When we make these videos, I kind of just show the racing portion of it. He will show you how to build a race car from start to finish. So go ahead, subscribe, follow what he's doing. If you are into cobalts or ecotechs in any way, he's the guy. For us, we're mainly Saturn people, Dodge Neon people. If you've never tuned into this channel, this is your first time, we race these 4-cylinder mini stocks across the Northeast. So let's start with Maggie's car. What's going on with it? Looks like we have not moved it in a while. Sorry, the shop is a mess. I'll explain why in a minute. We've been through so many motors and trannies here trying to figure stuff out. This car runs and drives fantastic. About 2 weeks ago, we did run it around the parking lot out here outside the shop. Maggie's complaint last year was no matter what she did, from like the last 4 races on, and no matter what we did, everything felt tight, but there was a weird noise in the front end of the car. We put it in there and shook it down multiple times and couldn't find anything. We replaced the right front strut, we did control arms, we did a whole bunch of stuff on this car trying to get rid of the sound. We put it in the air on that lift right there, put it in the air, and it goes boing. The actual strut mount rotted completely off the left front, and the entire strut just like fell out of the car. It must have been hanging by like the tiniest little piece of metal, and that was what actually ended up breaking. So after we put that in, it no longer makes a noise. So you would think we would have caught that before, since we put this car in the air literally 4 or 5 times, shook it down, and we couldn't find anything. Hopefully that's what the noise was. If you don't know, this is a Neon RT 1998, but it actually has a built single cam motor in it. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, right? My daughter is 17. She's been driving this since she was 15. It's a little beat up. We actually have a donor car, a donor Neon right outside the door that at some point we're going to build an entirely new car. But this race season is going to be weird because Maggie works almost like between part and full time weekly and took like a job at Walmart. I don't know what her race season is going to look like because she prefers making money over racing, which, I mean, she wants to race, but you got to make the money, and I get it. She did apply for Friday nights off. They have not accepted that yet, so anyway, we'll see how that goes. This is the big story car of the amount of effort we put into. I'll talk about this in just a second. This is a 1993 Saturn SL2. What did we have to do to it this winter? Well, this car is a winning car at our local track. I took a couple wins with it last year. I've only been racing this thing for like a year and a half. My buddy Zach primarily built this car. It is dual cam, a little bit of work. Anyways, point is, what do we do to this thing? It looks pretty nice out on the outside, but the front subframe was a major issue. Anytime we got on a rough track, I would break stuff because the front suspension was actually moving around. Out here is the subframe. We took this subframe out. We had already patched it right here last season. But see how crusty this thing's getting? It is really bad. So we actually replaced the entire front subframe, all the front suspension. Went through the car. It needed a clutch. The clutch was starting to slip at the end of last season. Did a clutch in it. Did slave cylinder, master cylinder. Basically just that type of stuff. We didn't do any motor work. That's the same as it was before. It is starting to get a little tired. Like this one is also a Saturn. This is much snappier than mine. Like mine, you hit the gas, it's like this one you hit the gas, it's like like, you know what I mean? That one's a little fresher. This car is pretty fast. as is. What I really need to do is take the whole front clip off and redo it. Like, look how wadded this is. The entire front of the car is kind of shifted over, but geometry's right with the suspension, so it works for me. We do run rear steer in this car, like quite a bit of it. So it's a little interesting walking it on my goofy ass little trailer we have. So, the Dale car. This is what we have the most time and effort into. So we bought this car last year as an asphalt car in Pennsylvania, and we're running it on dirt. The car did come with a whole bunch of parts, so it came with a spare motor and 4 other trannies. And as soon as we took this car out, we realized that 1, it seems to not turn, 2, it blows that tire off when you come out of the corner, and 3, it has no power in 3rd gear, which is very strange because we're running on like 3/8 mile tracks. This should be a 3rd gear car, even with these tiny little tires. We just went to open practice 2 nights ago, and this car would not go over 3,500 RPM in 3rd gear. So what do we do to make it a dirt car? So if you have that type of question, well, this car had positive camber all the way around the vehicle. We actually put, and they had modified the struts and welded them so that it was that way. So this car has all new struts. We have the camber set up to be pretty much identical to my car. We don't have any rear steer in it yet because we gotta get these guys. This is my dad and brother's car. We need to have them out driving it and trying to see how this thing handles before we start adding rear steer, because it can get sketchy. So anyways, all new suspension, new struts, new wheel bearings. We did a ton of work to it. So the guy was like 5'2" that had the vehicle. So this was like up to the ceiling. We actually had to remodify the entire seat location and weld it to the frame or to the cage instead of the body of the car, which if you know anything about racing, you shouldn't be doing that. We built this little bracket, this screen underneath and bumper type contraption to protect the radiator because there was nothing under it. I mean, on asphalt, I guess it's not as big of a deal, but on dirt, you want something protecting that, so we fabricated that. And then the real issue is we need to get a locked tranny in this thing. So we have all these trannies, right? Yeah, 4 of them. And they come, we've now started labeling them because the guy that we bought it from didn't have them very well labeled. So this is one that we thought we were gonna be able to swap into the car, and that's not the case because this is it was a locked tranny, but we put it in and the case was leaking, had to pull it back out, reseal it, put it back in, and then I found out that it wasn't actually locked, so that was cool. Over here we have a couple other trannies. Basically, long short of it is, we put the tranny in and out 3 times before we found what we actually wanted for a tranny. So we're like, oh, that's gonna be good. We got it. It's gonna go fast. Well, it did not go fast because by the time we actually built a tranny for this, we ended up having to take a gear, the case was bad on one of the other trannies, so we had to take the gear set out, reseal it, put it in this car, take it to the track 2 nights ago, and it is just as slow as it was without the lock tranny. So we started doing a little more research, and I didn't realize the tranny that was in it was, there's 2 trannies you can have for these. Well, technically 3, an MP2, MP3. MP3 is the better transmission, and we had a MP2 out of a single cam car in this, and it was just way too long of a gear ratio. The car could not go over 3,500 RPM, even these tiny little tires. So, what do? Yesterday, Bill, our tech that works here, basically built a MP3 tranny. Had to cut off some tabs, make it so that we can mount it in the actual car where the ignition coils go on. This has the cable-driven tranny in a hydraulic car, so we had to modify that. But this car now rips 2nd and 3rd gear. These tires are way too small now, so we're going to pick up some 80. I think we're going to go 80s on it for Fulton Speedway. Hopefully run a little stagger, maybe do like an 80 and a 78. Talking rollout, if you're new to this. Anyhow, so that's where we're at on these cars. All right, I don't know why they started a street sweep right now as I tried to make this video, but anyways, that is footage of what we did to the cars in the off season for the most part. I left out a couple things, like obviously like some of the wheel bearings, oil changes, air filters, the basic shit you need to do to any race car on a normal basis, not just over the winter. Fresh start, fresh season. So we did go to the High Bank Hold Up open practice. It got rained out Monday, ended up being Tuesday. Maggie can't work, Maggie can't race this weekend because she has to work. So we did not bring her car. It was just me and my dad with the number 3 car. I ran like an 80-inch tire on mine. Seemed good. I was happy with the RPMs. I'm never gonna keep up with a 250 horsepower Honda at Fulton Speedway. It's too big of an open track. You can basically, that track, you whip it into the corner and just drive around. It's not, there's not a whole lot of technical driving to it, so I can't really make up for what I lack in performance with drivability, because anybody can drive around Fulton and do a pretty good job, and I just cannot do it. The Hondas are too fast. So anyways, I'm hoping I'll have like a top 5, top 10 car. That's good enough for, I can beat some of the older Hondas, just not the K series. Anyhow, my dad goes out with the number 3 car, and again, like I said, it's stuck in 3rd gear, 3,000 RPM. We find plugs undone on the side of the tranny. We're like, that's gotta be it. I end up finding the ECU up underneath the dash and the OBD port. We clear out the codes that were in it for speed sensor, thinking that would take care of it. No dice. It was just the wrong gear and just way too slow, which we figured out that you just saw. This is the footage of inside my car, doing the 1 hot lap session that I recorded in, and enjoy. We'll catch you guys at Fulton Speedway this Saturday, hopefully hooking up with Brad. And this is the only footage I have that's exciting in this little video. So catch you guys in the next one. Comment, like, subscribe. Appreciate you.